Might be open. We were close to selling.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, we were close to closing down.
When was that?
Just before COVID. We were... It never... Once the AP never worked for us, but it was... We had 200 members. We were kind of just breaking even a month for 5 years, or a little bit over. But like, the hardest thing for us was time. Churchy, at the time, it was me, Churchy and Ryan. But Ryan obviously was the head at the Dragons, and Churchy was always going to kind of move on from the Dragons, because he...
Welcome to the Tackle Your Thoughts podcast, the podcast where we attempt to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health.
Okay, welcome to Tackle Your Thoughts podcast. Today we're joined by two exciting guests, two of the boys behind our local gym called PA Fitness. So welcome, boys.
Thank you. Shorty.
So we've got Garen and Churchy. Just want to start off, everybody knows the brand of PA Fitness. We want to know more about the person and the people behind it. So just tell us more about you, how you got into it, and what you do in real life, please, boys. Church, you should go to you start, is it?
Yeah, no, so in real life, so outside the gym, I still work in fitness outside, so work as a strength and conditioning coach in regional rugby, 6 years at the Dragons, and into my fourth year now as a head of physical performance at the Ospreys. So everything around my life really is dedicated around either my own like physical fitness and training or coaching others. And then family life wise, got a little boy, Reese, who's coming to 18 months old now, engaged, due to get married in the summer.
So go.
Yeah, lots going
busy.
lots going on. But yeah, everything outside PA has been revolved around still training and coaching and things like that, really.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. Stay busy. Over to you, Gar. Tell us more.
Well, mine's a bit of a letdown.
Bit more relaxed. We go relaxed.
Yeah, I can't really follow that, to be honest. Do you know, it does sound stupid, but I don't really do much. Churchy's not going to believe me on this, but PA takes a hell of a lot of my time up. I still do hours there. Churchy's looking at me fine, like I'm not ready to see it.
Definitely
ready
eyes
to
it.
see it. But it takes most of my time up. If I'm not working, I'm either playing football or I'm training. But yeah, PA's it's literally my life a minute. Yeah, especially since we've done the refurb, and we've taken on a hell of a lot more members. Trying to keep on top of that place is pretty hard, but
I bet. Right. You work there full time then?
Yeah, well, it's
I was going to say,
laughing
says
again.
work. That's a loose term. When Gar says work, it's a very loose term.
It's
I
define
use
work.
40 hours a week.
Yeah, so I'm there 30 odd hours a week without training, or without popping in, but I'm there every single day apart from normally a Sunday. Again, Churchy's looking at me funny because they don't believe me. But yeah, I spend most of my time there.
Sounds exciting, but
Yeah, I know. It has been since we've done the refurb.
I bet it has,
Yeah, it's been that was mental. That was, and with the pandemic and everything, the last 18 months been crazy.
I bet.
It's good crazy, and I think I've grown a lot personally from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has been a roller coaster. We're on a massive high minute, and we with our place. But yeah.
So even though you're saying you don't do a lot other than PA, do you enjoy that? So it sounds as though your life is just PA at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It has been for the last, probably since the new owners come on board, yeah.
But even before that, I think I know Gar's like joking there saying about me saying like his terms of work is loose, but because of what I do, I rely on Gar especially. So we've been in each other's pockets for 6 years pretty much, and I know that everything from the run of the business is always taken care of with Gar, and I can focus on what I need to focus on within the business as well. And I know he said he doesn't do much outside of that, but he's been a cornerstone of the refurb and sorting all out, and without him being there, we wouldn't be where we are now. So for me to do what I need to do, I massively rely on him to keep everything going and
First time in
drive that.
6 years he's complimented me.
This is recorded as well, guys.
First time in 6 years.
It's going out every man.
I thought we was I didn't know this was going on.
No, fair play. It does. Well, it's gonna take effort and energy from someone, So it does take time for, even if that's just managing other people that do the the little jobs inside the business. So
It is a little job, but it works both ways. Like what Churchy brings to the table, you couldn't even pay for that.
Yeah,
I think if you had a blank check, you couldn't.
I think where we are now, think about when we actually started, when Gar came in, that we front loaded our work really in terms of getting all that done. Loads of work went at the start, and what we see now coming into fruition of where we are now.
It's paying off.
Like people don't see what we did for 6 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
And like you said, people see what it looks like now and everything like that. They haven't seen the work that's gone in since 2015 to get to that point, and Gar's done all that really.
Yeah. Well, when did you move to current facility? Because I know you were
2016.
2016. So
2016.
Right.
You had a year in bed, wasn't you?
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's talk about that then. Let's talk about how it all started. Where did it all come from?
Yeah. So, obviously I was involved in a gym in Caerphilly and came away from that really just because of work. I wanted to, as much as I could, put everything into work. So I got given an opportunity in pro sport, and I wanted to go into that. And then actually, Ryan Harris, who was myself, one of the original owners of PA, we knew that there was certainly a gap within our area of people getting coached and getting quality programming, and we just wanted to keep it real simple, have a space which people could come and train, and we'll coach them and get professional coaching, because there wasn't anything around. And we were given opportunity, because actually the pre-season fell that we were within Astrid where the Dragons train. We broke the floor in the first season there. Wasn't reinforced floor, so we needed some.
Literally broke the floor.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
I thought that was a gym saying or something like that.
Like a term, like
He was so busy.
There's a top quality S&C program we were running. But and we had to smooth some kit and things like that. So I always knew I wanted to get something up and running again.
Yeah.
And it just turned out we were given an opportunity with some kit. Obviously, like Sport Wales and things like that, they like the idea of opening like a quality facility where you get professional coaching. So they saw the value in it. So we found a unit in Bedwas, and sure, you've seen the unit we had in Bedwas. It was Spit and Sawdust, which is right up my street anyway. It was right next to a scrapyard.
Literally the opposite of where you got now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't mind it.
It's a bit more refined now,
Leaks in the roof, freezing cold. But then we just set it up and we just trained people.
Yeah, it was functional.
Yeah, we just wanted people to come and train. And so that was 2015. We spent a year there. There was obviously issues. We had the scrapyard next door, and they were burning metal all the time. But yeah, it was, in terms of what we wanted to do, I think people got the idea of what we were about straight away. The brand and the coaching, and the coaches we had with us, where we used the Dragons interns a lot as well to give them some development for their coaching, because they be in a professional environment, but when you coach people who haven't touched a bar before, that's when you learn how to coach. And it was real good in terms of getting those guys in, and also obviously they're making money from it as well. As an intern, which they were for us, they didn't. So we were there for a year, and then Gar, well, it was through Clevo really. Got in touch that we would be open to people if they wanted to invest, because right now we're working full time.
Flat out, busy enough as it was.
Yeah, and it was a real good year in terms of where we wanted to get it to.
Yeah,
we knew that we needed someone who could run the place and be there full time and really take the brand of the gym on. So obviously, got chatting with Gar, and I remember actually he came in. I'd never met Gar before at all. He walks in, and well, 6'4", 90k soaking wet. No, 6'4", 110 kegs, like brick shithouse. Brick shithouse. Walks in, and then he starts talking about what he wants to do with the gym. And so he was obviously working the gym at the time. Just want to do with the gym, and then started saying about I think about calling it a different name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
how do you go?
Pull your soul
it
out.
was pretty much. It was
at
pretty
the
much.
start.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. It was pretty much how you go.
What was it called before? Or at the
So it was
beginning?
Power Athletics.
Oh, right.
That's the
right.
the original name was Power Athletics, and it was the unit we had was 6,000 square foot. On one long wall was Power Athletics, the original logo. And Gar wanted to call, I think, what about calling it Gym Life Fitness? I was like,
he's never let us down.
Never know. Obviously that didn't happen. Like 7
The
years
first
later,
meeting was a disaster, wasn't it? I remember the first meeting. It was an absolute complete disaster. It was chalk and cheese what we wanted.
Yeah.
Complete chalk and cheese, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we left it. I think it was a couple of months.
Oh, right.
And funny enough, I was in Blackpool. I remember Claire ringing me. I don't like speaking about Claire like that, but I don't really give him the credit. But he actually rang me. He was in Blackpool, and he said Church was open to the idea, or he wanted another meeting. And then it was from that meeting where it kind of went from it. But what happened was what was happening at the time was CrossFit was up and coming, wasn't it? And like I said, he previously left the gym where they did that. But what we were finding, it was boys had 2 memberships in Philly. So the boys were having like a CrossFit membership because they wanted a sport and performance for Saturday. But then they also wanted the weight machines.
Yeah.
But they had 2 memberships. So that's where the idea come from, was merging the 2 into 1 membership.
Yeah.
So we were probably one of the first facilities in the UK to probably do that with me. And now it's pretty common in terms of like a functional gym with machines.
Yeah.
But there was nothing at the time. But that was where the idea come from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the second meeting that we kind of, it went on from there really. The first was an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster.
But it moved on pretty quick from there because
it did.
We knew that we needed that within the business. We knew that for us to be able to get and people to train, like we just wanted to train as many people as we could, but be the best at doing that.
Yeah.
We knew that where we were and the amount of time we could put into it, we weren't able to change the community as much as we wanted to.
Yeah.
And where we were, the location, the state of the unit, and so on. So we know that needed to happen. It snowballed really quick in terms of the unit we went to where we are now.
Yeah.
Because it'd been on the market for a while, so we got there and it pretty much moved really quickly. I remember that myself and Vied were shipping a lot of stuff out of our unit and had to store it and get it straight in, and we opened pretty much straight away as soon as we moved into our new unit, as what we were running before as part athletics.
Yeah.
And then we just kept on evolving from there really and adding to it, and obviously the machines came in and started to offer a training facility for all really. But we're still high quality in whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter if you want to come and jump on a treadmill or you want to do the boot camp or the spin or the S&C. Whatever you're going to do, we want to ensure that you're having the best advice, coaching for that. If someone's come on to jump on the treadmill and say, I want to get a better 5K, great. We're going to educate you and coach you and give you the best advice to be the best person you can at doing that. I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Because in the original facility, you didn't have no treadmills, nothing like that. So
it was
again,
all S&C.
When we moved, it was kind of spit and sawdust, wasn't it? Like I'm a nightmare for things being clean now. I'm OCD massively. I think it's previous from where I used to work in the gym before. It was the opposite. It was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't want to mention the name, but everyone knows where I used to work. It was awful. So in that job before I come on board, that was how not to run a gym.
Yeah,
and that was priceless for me.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely
What a
priceless.
lesson to
Oh,
learn.
unbelievable. Yeah. But we were kind of still spitting sawdust before we've done this new refurb now. But it was that was a mad place. That was, wasn't it? We had like 200 members, 200 core members, and it was you could trust everyone. You don't mind, giving people the keys to train. It was completely open, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing in
I think that's
brand now.
That's benefited us now, haven't it? With them 200 core members, they've helped us now with the transition of kind of the new members coming in.
Yeah, makes sense.
So them, in a way, we see them as staff, but with all the newbies coming in who's come in from other gyms where they've kind of got away with stuff over the years with not putting dumbbells in order or dropping weights.
Yeah.
Our like 200 core members who we had previously have kind of taught them how we do things.
Yeah.
And again, that's priceless for us.
I think like
is,
you were saying, Church, just setting your stall out day one as being the best in the industry. That's only going to carve a good brand and a good product for people. So people are just going to come back, and that's exactly what's happening. That's why you continue to grow.
That was a goal, like you just said, was to create a brand.
Yeah.
We knew we could create a gym. Even like we're bringing Joel on board and Jack, we knew we could create something special. But the goal was to create a brand.
Yeah.
I don't think many gyms do that.
No.
I don't think they at all. I think they set up a gym and there's, all right, we got a funky name, we can buy this kit, buy that.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of look at our kit in a way, like the bodybuilding machines. They're not top end.
Yeah.
They're not the best of the best, but they work for us.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, it's about the brand, but they don't do it.
Yeah, people financially motivated or just want it done for themselves, so that you're building it for the business. The business will live on past you guys.
Many people don't know this, but we didn't take a wage for 5 years.
No.
First 5 years of business, we didn't take a penny.
Yeah.
We only started taking a wage. Was it last year?
Yeah, and that's
the best way. That's how you build a business. Yeah.
Building something, and people walk into PA now and they see, especially after obviously the rebrand and everything.
Yeah.
They see, but they don't see what's gone previously, and how much it's taken for us to get to that point. And
so much work.
That's what we like, because we know ultimately wherever the gym gets to, whenever we get to as PA, what we've put in as a pair to get to this point is ultimately we're coming to fruition now and we're building off that.
Yeah.
And I think, like you talked about the original members, we had talk about community within the gym. That's a hell of a big group of people, 200 people who come in, they train every day.
Yeah.
They love the way they train, they love the way they get coached. That's our best form of advertising. It was for 5 years, and for me, it's slightly different now because we've got a much bigger membership base, but we still haven't lost that community feel. Like in everything people go into, like you see the boot camp on a Monday night. It's those same 16 every time, bang, they're in all the time. And if someone's not there, guaranteed someone's going to ring them, everything okay. Missed you tonight. And you see it every day, and the boys see people coming on the desk. You see Gal on the desk, you see Jack, everyone, whoever walks through the door, how are you? Name straight away. Oh, how are you, Mike? How are you, Steve?
Know everybody on a first name basis.
Every time.
Yeah.
For me, that was
personal touch to it.
That was the scariest part. When we done a refurb, like I said, we knew we could build something special. But for me, the biggest thing was when we had them 200 core members, we didn't want to change the values that we had with them. Because if we've got nearly 700 members now, we'll just tick those 700 members. So if you bring them 500 members into a group of 200 members, the dynamic of our group's going to change completely.
It should do, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's and that was.
I don't know, but like you're saying, by building what you've built into those members and you know like what you portray as the gym, then that is the core of it, and I think that's what it's built around.
That was the biggest hurdle for me. If we could get over that, if we could convert these, we never thought we'd have 700 members, but our goal was always 5. We can get the 5. We can reinvest in the gym. You've got a nice community. We're happy as Larry. So for me, the biggest hurdle for me again was converting them 300 members coming in to what the 200 members had with us. Well, that was always going to be difficult. But somehow we've done it.
I
don't know
how
how.
you have, definitely. 100%.
What summed it up mostly for me, you know, I get to the gym as much as I can. I coach guaranteed one night a week because I love doing that. When we went to lockdown, the first lockdown, and straight away we opened up the gym and said, guys, whatever you need kit wise, put equipment packages for everyone. Seeing 140 plus people coming in,
and we didn't charge like other gyms.
No,
just sorry for Dave.
But it was trust. Like you knew that they were coming in and there's people queuing outside, and they knew what they were going to get from us. Start the online training and so on. And we were going to do daily video, and I did it from the garage for everyone. But that was some PA up for me, is having those couple hundred people that came. Doesn't sound a lot, but when you talk about having, they trust us, we trust them.
140
to get
people.
into that situation. It was huge for me, and I was sitting there. We put all these equipment packs together. You see people walking in. Oh, thanks very much for this. This is brilliant. It's like, well, that's what it's about, really.
For me, that just shows the trust you got in your members as well. So you give 140 packs of equipment away, not knowing if you're ever going to get them back, really.
And that's exactly why you've now got 500 or 700 members that are on board, because they've seen that.
It was something like one dumbbell didn't come back. That was it.
It
was unbelievable. And that's then,
wild.
That's, I think people see how much we've put into the gym as well.
Exactly that.
They know they were always going to reinvest in the gym, make it as good as we can in terms of equipment, yes, but also quality of coaching and service and all that, because people don't just go to the gym to train. It's not about that now. It's a huge social aspect.
It's changed massively.
How we did the reception and so on is a big part of that.
So for me, you're saying you've been going for 5 years. Was this part of your five-year plan? Did you think you'd be where you're at now, or do you think it's going to take you longer than 5 years? Because you're miles ahead, in my opinion. You're miles ahead of every other gym in our area.
It must be open. We were close to selling.
Really?
We were close to closing down.
When was that?
Just before COVID. It never, once the AP never worked for us, but we had the 200 members. We were kind of just breaking even a month for 5 years, a little bit over. But like the hardest thing for us was time. Churchy, at the time it was me, Churchy and Ryan. But Ryan obviously was the head at the Dragons, and Churchy was always going to kind of move on from the Dragons because he's bigger and better.
Nah, I'm jumping there.
No, but
he doesn't mean there is I'm bigger and better than the Dragons. Obviously,
but he's wanted to achieve more.
Ryan was head. I worked as a senior SC there, and then I moved to be a head. So we're not ragging the Dragons.
But obviously
the
I don't mean
better.
Was that the time? Was it Hull? Was that the time, or was it before that?
Yeah.
So Churchy got. Well, you had. Did you go for the interview? Or you got half of the role in your rugby league?
Yeah.
But it means that you'd have had to move away. And I remember him telling me, I basically put a stop to it.
So like you said, mate, you can't go. It's not the reason I didn't go, but
yeah, so he
mate,
went,
you can't leave me.
so at the time, Churchy was
I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all it is.
Churchy was looking at other alternatives, which mean he'd have to be away from the gym. Ryan was obviously he was head S&C, so he had a lot on, and it would have just been left to me. And I don't coach, I refuse to coach. It's just something I'll never do. It's not me. We got people better for it. Yeah. So it was probably the summer. When would that have been? 2018.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, some.
It was around that time last summer. We was in Menard. We had an issue with the landlord as well. We had an issue with electric. I remember speaking to you about it years ago.
Yeah.
But it was just a massive issue. We had to pay 18 grand, didn't we, for one thing or another. We had high
electric.
Well,
It's
bill
electrical.
or just like
Yeah, we never used it.
Yeah, they were
Effectively
overcharging it.
overcharging us, and
But
I think, wasn't you paying for the other units or something?
Yeah, it was-
You might have been.
it was
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
it was dodgy that, but we went through solicitors, etc. But in the end, we had to pay it. So we had to pay that, and then that was a kick in the teeth. And we were like, how much more can we kind of take? I think the issue for us, why we kind of never grew, was one, we had like an intimidating look, which is why we rebranded and changed. But I think the thing for us, I think we were kind of too early before our time. I think if we had now what we had then, we probably would have about 400 members.
yeah.
You've looked at functional fitness over the last couple of years. So I just think we were maybe 2-3 years a little bit too early in terms of what we done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were close to closing, maybe.
yeah, the biggest thing around now is that, you know, we talked about the work you put in previously to get where we are now. There was always, you know, Gar would be there all day, and things were accumulating in terms of like extra work and extra work and extra work. Like we all love what we do, and I love coaching, but you know, people's lives change, outside lives change. I'd moved away, so I like literally only talking 30 minutes down the road, but for me to get here from say Neath, when we're training Neath all the time, that was a stretch, so I could coach less. And it was that time was like, okay, well, if we're gonna do it, I had to. We either
go all in or
because the brand,
Yeah,
or you
one
come
thing.
away from it, and the brand was there, so there was always going to be people who wanted the brand. It was more about, okay, well, if we're going to do that, we either, like you said, go balls deep and do it, or we look to do something else. Because like Gar said, it's probably the biggest thing for us at the time is people understanding what we were about, and like you said, about being, some people were intimidated by what we did.
Yeah. Why do you think that was?
I've no doubt it's probably my perception of how I want people to train, but how I coach and how I program is it's because I truly believe in that. I believe in what we do.
The programs,
I you know, someone comes in and does a session for us, guarantee they're going to come back. And thank you, coach, for that. So Steph for me has always been like a huge mentor for me. And I say it to him, he thinks I'm joking. I'm actually not.
he still is now, even for the business. And he's helped us so much.
he's a great guy.
We're
No
not
good Sankey talk allowed.
No, we're not discussing this.
But Steph for me is the first person who actually coached me how to coach.
Yeah.
Like I was 20 years of age, I was finishing up uni, I was coaching another gym, and Steph would coach me, and he said, make sure everyone leaves with a smile. Don't worry about the technical aspect, because I was all about, got to do this, got to do this. He's like, no, make sure everyone leaves with a smile. And that still stays with me now. We're 10 years down the line, and I think people, leave with a smile, get a session where you know you've been coached, and it's tough.
Yeah.
But I think probably I was too driven. Okay, no, this is power athletics. This is how we do it, and you know it's taken a while for us to evolve. We still hold on to that. That was my biggest thing. I say to the boys now, our biggest thing, we got to hold on to what PA is about, and we have. I think.
Your identity.
Absolutely.
It's like a core value for you. Isn't
Yeah,
it? You've got to,
absolutely.
it's got to
And
be
I
driven
think
for the
that's
business.
probably, it was potentially down to, in terms of what I wanted the drive, and maybe I've mellowed out a little bit, or a little bit softer, I don't know, but we needed that, and like Gar says about, you know, the things we went through, and that's right, you know, but we knew for us doing it, and I think we were down to two of us at that point, when everything came with the landlord and so on, we knew that we had each other's backs, and there was huge trust between him and I, regardless. And when shit hit the fan there, he knew that I was going to get home from work, get everything I needed again, so I sought the solicitors, got all our stuff together. Gar would still be running the gym, and no one knew about it really, and we were still cracking on. And that's what it's built on also, is community, but also trust between in terms of us, because we probably wouldn't be here without getting through those times. Everything's it's really good now. but what built us is that
Yeah,
route.
people don't see that at all. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same way that when we done the refurb. You know, I was pretty much there every day, but Churchy was doing the online stuff. But it was obviously it was communication, but it was I trusted him in doing that. I knew he was going to do his best for that, and vice versa. The kind of design, the gym, he kind of let us crack on with it. Like.
Yeah.
So you're just saying you almost sold the business. What stopped you? It's bound to be a certain moment. It's gone.
For me, I don't think there's opportunities to sell, because we knew that there was going to be people who were really interested in the brand. But biggest thing for me, if someone did buy at that point, they'd still want to employ us to do what we do in the business.
Yeah.
So why would we do that for?
Yeah.
One, doesn't make business sense to us anyway.
No, it's lining somebody else's.
Just
But
line in their pockets.
Yeah.
Exactly, and they knew what we were about, and someone with an investor could see that. I think the biggest thing for me and probably Gar, because we've been in it for so long, is that we truly believe in PA, and it'd take us a hell of a, like, we wouldn't. No. There's nothing now that I can move the other side of the world and I'll still do all the programming.
Yeah.
But you proved that during lockdown.
Yeah, we know
exactly.
And,
yeah.
You know, it was probably a time where it was getting a lot in terms of what we had to do as well. I was working full time. Gar was in there all day, every day. It was getting a lot.
Yeah.
And we just needed that break to go for us, because people who were training, those 200 guys were loving it.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we've got something here.
Yeah, the membership was silly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were losing members, and the memberships were increasing, but it was just. It was at the point where it's got to go one way or the other.
It's just a pinch point,
and we kind of knew that.
Yeah.
So to be fair, that's with Joel come on board, isn't it?
I think when things like that happen, it either makes you or breaks you.
Yeah.
And it's made you guys. You know, 'cause look at the facility you've got now, and like you said, you're probably working there anyway.
Yeah, they would have wanted us to.
Yeah.
And then you'd be kicking yourself.
Run it. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's probably the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah.
Struggling and now.
Yeah, it's mad looking back now.
Yeah.
Mad. Like we went through some shit, didn't we?
Yeah. But that's what makes you stronger. That's what makes you a good partnership. What makes the gym strong. It's
people
like,
probably look at Gar and I think, they're polar opposites.
Yeah.
And because I'm not in the gym all that, like I get there on my days off or take restone or when I go and coach.
Yeah.
It's usually the times you're not there because you're there in the day. So people actually don't see us together, but they don't realise how close we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once people know that, and obviously the core guys do, and everyone who's around us does, they see what we're about, and they see that we always put the gym first. And it's good that they know now what we've gone through, because you know, it'll take a lot for us not to be involved in PA now.
Yeah.
Always be in it.
Pull you apart from
I think you've been too proud to talk about the struggles, because you have got a brilliant brand at the moment, but the struggles have made what you are now, so perhaps you just should celebrate them a bit more.
It sounds stupid. Not like I'd like to write a book, but in a way, I'm kind of glad this podcast has gone out, because we've not that we've never talked about it, we just didn't think people were interested in kind of our story. If that makes sense.
You'd be surprised.
But it is a good story.
100%.
Looking back on it now, like what we went through.
Yeah.
Like the solicitors, I remember messaging you about the equipment, because you know we had high court enforcement letters.
Yeah.
This went on for months, but we were fighting electric for years, weren't we?
Yeah, that was the biggest frustration. It was something that we couldn't control.
Yeah.
You know, the landlord, they were an investment fund overseas.
Right.
So, and all the contacts were in London. Yeah. So you'd be contacting them and be like,
it's impossible.
And for something over electric, like, look, we're not using that. We know we're not. The meter's not giving us that. But through commercial law, they can charge you what they want.
Yeah.
And we're like, but then the new landlord we got now is a legend.
Yeah, he's good as gold.
Brilliant. Oh, he's brilliant.
So they sold the unit to somebody.
They sold the site.
Oh, right. Okay.
The landlord we now got now is good as gold, because he knows that we're bringing people into the industrial estate.
Yeah.
And when and because of the previous landlords, we were the only ones left. And then new landlord comes in, he's got footfall going through the gym every day, and now every unit's rented out.
Yeah.
And we use the other units as well. We use them for a lot in terms of what we want, in terms of the signs and the branding and guys next door. So I think he probably sees us as, okay, well, the more people he can get coming into that industrial estate, because there's a big call centre next door as well, we're going to be there for a long time. Best it is. And he's been brilliant with us, to be fair, and he knew what we were coming off of. He couldn't believe it. When we told him what had gone on, he couldn't believe what had gone on and what we'd went through, and we were still there. So he's got that back as well, which you want from the landlord.
It was funny getting that first electric bill from him and the difference. It
made me feel sick. You know how much you'd...
it went from like 3k a month down to what, 600-700.
Jesus
How
Christ.
can you spend 3k a month on electric?
But bear in mind, this
Beating the old estate for that.
yeah, this 3k
Years,
electric,
mate.
this 3k electric was before the refurb, so we didn't have no like so we got treadmills now,
Yeah.
cardio
Nothing
equipment,
like
lights.
that.
We don't have any of that
You'd
before.
basically another floor, haven't you?
Yeah,
It's
we were
double
just
the size of the
yeah,
unit,
we were just like-
effectively.
Yeah.
We were literally a greenhouse.
Yeah.
We were getting billed 3k a month for
Fucking
electric,
hell.
and there was nothing we could do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely
again,
nothing.
nobody knew about that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody
I,
knew
like,
about the struggles.
I didn't know
No.
anything
That-
about it. I've been with
that
like
must have
pretty
gone
much
on
with it
for
forever.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Oh, there's loads going back
People-
and forth.
hell.
Yeah,
Some
people
money.
just rocking up every day to train,
Yeah.
not knowing the struggles you guys are going through in the background, but still
Yeah.
having a brilliant facility, still being coached by the best coaches about.
Yeah.
But you guys fighting that battle in the background, so hat off to
To
you
be fair,
Yeah,
you
guys.
good
kind of
work,
dealt
Jen.
with that, didn't you? It was. I was a little bit young to deal with that because I'd never been through anything in my life before. But I was kind of panic mode with this church. He was just
Chill out now.
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work out our way. So, but no, like,
We survived.
Come out the back
well,
of
yeah,
it,
that's
yeah.
the thing. We worked through it. We did everything we could have done. So, like, you talk about controllables.
Yeah.
We did what we could control. We got the best advice we could. We fought it. Didn't go our way. We cracked on.
Yeah.
We moved on.
Yeah.
And we are where we are now.
Cut your losses and move on to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
You're still bringing up, you know. Jim still owes me 6k for my
Cuts me deep.
all the time.
Bet.
Hide in the summer.
I could do with 6k.
I can do that money
Yeah.
back.
Each other has 6 bags.
Class. That's awesome.
I've picked up quite a lot through you two talking now about your values. You seem to have a certain set core values. Have a chat about that. What's
I think before you start talking, I think that's
on.
probably one of the most important things.
Definitely.
In anything, in a business, in whatever you do in your life, is just like following your values. It's so big. Like,
like, you can tell you guys just not winging it. You've got a certain
Yeah.
core values you stick to.
Yeah.
Have you written them down? Have you got?
No, I think we've worked together so long. Like we've been together like 5-6 years, whatever it is. Kind of know each other. Like I know what church he's not going to be happy with. I know what he's going to be happy with. You know, church you can walk in a gym and the floor could be stinking and it wouldn't bother him at all. Absolutely wouldn't bother him at all. But then I know if someone's coached wrong, if I put a story up where someone's doing something and the technique's not right, he'll hit the roof.
Yeah.
Absolutely hit the roof. You will, won't you?
Is that true, church?
No, I'm
And it's the other
because
way
of what
around
we
then.
built. Yeah, because of what we built, I'm just a bit of a stickler that, you know, the brand what we built, and people know us for coaching and programming and the best facility. So I think that everyone then, like I speak to the coaches, I think that everything we do should be the best, and that doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter someone to go for a spin class. Well, I want it to be the best, and I think the coaching team we got are the best.
Yeah.
I feel it in terms of what they do, but still we got to keep on learning. Everyone can get better, and we got to challenge each other, because without that, I know Gar says about being stinking. I'm actually better than I have been when we were
Like a married couple.
I just want to get my barbells out and lift. But
Yeah.
It's Reese though, and it causing mess.
yeah, exactly. I clean it up after him. all
Baby
the time.
food
But
everywhere.
Elliot disagree with that as well. So he probably thinks I just let him do what he wants. But no, I'm just things that go out. I think because of what we built, and we've got obviously a big following. I think it's important. I think it's really important. And if one of our coaches is putting that out, then my question would be, okay, well, why have you put that out? Or what could be better?
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because straight away, that's learning for them. And I've been there.
Yeah.
And probably there's been times in my career where I haven't been pulled up on stuff, and I wish I had been.
Yeah.
And it obviously, you know, we've got to approach it in a certain way. I'm a bit of a bull in the china shop sometimes. Have certainly mellowed out since I got older, and especially going into a new role. But I think, you know, we want to be challenged, and I want everything that goes out under PA to be the best it can be.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm the same, but where's Churchy comes from kind of a trading point of view.
Yeah.
Mine's business wise.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
So anything we do, if you're not going to do the best, there's no point doing it.
Yeah.
Even when we built the facility, again, Joel was me and Joel kind of bounced off each other with that, which was good. But even just like things like if we put a story out on Instagram, if that story's not going to entice people to look at it and think, oh, that looks class, or I want to join, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Don't put up for the sake of it.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of gyms or businesses do that. They think, all right, I need to put a social media post up because what everyone does.
Any content,
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's gotta
Exactly.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't do that. And like we brought a marketing guy on board, Elliot. He's good as gold. He's wicked at what he does for us. But again, we kind of bounce off each other. But it's even like the things like what we sell in the shop, the coffee. You know,
Yeah.
if the coffee's not gonna be the best, then what's the point selling it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that runs through the gym. Like we've tried installing that in our staff as well, haven't we? Whether I'll be from a training point of view or whether it's just a front of house staff member.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do the best ability, then just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't waste our time. Don't do it at all.
It's class.
It's amazing, yeah. And like I said, your values are now rubbing off on your members as well. So people are constantly talking about PE and
like you said,
and everything.
little things about like putting weights away and people not doing that. Now, like everybody does it, and it's just the norm and how it goes. You know, you go into other gyms and there's fucking weight scattered everywhere. You don't get that. You don't see it in PE at all.
Dumbbells, like. But I'll if I'm on a shift, I'll let you watch CCTV. I don't honestly. I'm honestly that's bad. I also honestly will. Just because for us, I suppose people are different now. Like the members we got now, like you can walk in there probably any time now. The dumbbells will always be in order. But when we first, like I said, when we first opened and we had that new influx of members coming from other gyms where we don't put them in order, I was probably worse then. But it was like right. But if we teach them, they'll teach the new members coming in, and then they'll do themselves. So that's where it comes from. Like the dumbbells are never out of order now. Absolutely never. But I'll still watch CCTV. Every now and again I'll watch someone.
So put the dumbbells back.
Yeah, just make sure.
Shout out on the tannoy.
Order. Yeah. Or someone's dropping them. Dropping them's the worst for me. It breaks me.
Okay, let's talk about your pet hates then in the business. About each other at the start. Have we got a pet hate with Garen?
I think we know each other so well. Like he'll say about me probably. So when I go into the gym, I'm either training or I'm coaching, so I just want to get in and do that. Yeah. So he says about me leaving stuff behind the counter and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
leaving stuff there. So if I leave, I'll always leave trainers behind the desk because I know they're there when I want to go back the next time. Towel if I need to shower after training to coach. And then I go there and all the like people nick my shower gel from behind the counter all the time and chucked away. I text him. So whenever I go to the gym, so say for example if it's a day off and then Reese is in nursery, I get that day because usually if I have a day off I have Reese for the day and we go out whatever, or I take him to the gym and we have a coffee and stuff. Not Reese obviously. But so I text Gar, do you want any breakfast? And then so we go down, I take, what do you get? It was a bacon roll or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
So take it down there and I don't have the bacon roll, I end up training, I want to come back out. And I come back and he's chucked in the bin.
But he's left from the side. He just leaves it in.
It's behind the... So they're my pet hates. Chuck my bacon roll out. they're my pet hates. He is, like you said about being OCD. He is so OCD. But the gym's spotless.
Yeah,
people,
there's a reason,
there's a reason behind it.
We're still... the S&C area is still spitting sawdust. People go in there, they lift and they chuck tin around. But you'll never go in there and it'll be dirty.
Yeah.
And I think now, especially with COVID, people value that massively. And they know that as a gym we take pride in that. And that's my only one for Gar.
Chucking bacon rolls away. Come on, Gar.
I don't think I got any for Churchy, to be fair. Like he's changed. I think it's probably since he's had
used to have something.
Yeah, again, it's probably just not the dirtiness of him. Like if remember the old
office. I just said I put my towel after a shower. It's not dirty. I just
remember the old office though. The old office before he done refurb. How dirty was that?
But it was just stuff I needed.
No, that was. I never used to use that place. Never used to use that office. It was him. I suppose Ryan in a way, but Ryan was never really there. Not as much as you. But maybe you lived there for like 4 or 5 weeks, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in between houses.
He lived at the gym for a
bit.
bit.
Lived in the gym.
Did you? Yeah.
Brilliant. Cheapest month of my life.
Apart from when you play music at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So I sold my house. I was in Abertrader because I went to the Ospreys. Ellie and I bought a house in Llanarran, and there's like a month, and it was off season, so I didn't need to be anywhere. So I moved into the spare room we had in the gym, and all my stuff was being stored in there. But Westy, who's at the Dragons at the time, S&C, had days where he'd come in, we'd have breakfast and a coffee. We'd train, we'd go on COD. I hadn't had a PlayStation since I was about 12 years of age. We went to the game, bought a pre-owned PS3, we were playing on COD.
Class.
We'd end up training again. It was the best 4 weeks of my life.
Gar kicked you out.
Yeah, then Gar kicked me out, so I charged me rent.
It was stinking. Clothes everywhere. Like church is a nightmare. You'll have a bar, or you'll have a protein shake. You just leave his bottle there. You'll drink it and you leave it somewhere. So you'll have the wrapper just be left everywhere. Like you go in our office, not now, but previously, and behind the sofa, wrappers everywhere.
It's all coming out now, isn't it?
It's not like that in my house. Because Ellie's OCD.
Because he misses that.
She probably thinks the same as me.
Yeah, she said exactly the same.
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
just
that.
dirty.
Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
Dropped right in the shit there.
Pretty minor though in the scheme
Yeah.
of things. You can
Yeah,
live with that.
let's move
couldn't
on. Let's move on. Future plans. Anything in the pipeline, or where do you want to get to?
Building a brand for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think we've tapped into an events. Building a brand and events. Like I think online's massive now.
Yeah.
I think with what we've got in terms of one, the facility, two, the coaches. Like I don't think we expose Churchy enough. I know he's busy with Ospreys, but in terms of online, I don't think we expose him enough. Same as someone like Hedy and the other staff members we got. We don't expose them. Events, we're awful at. We just don't plan events. We don't do nothing, which is the rugby match was a massive thing for us.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard for me. Like what we found is the four kind of owners now. We've all got our own strengths, and not one of us does events. So like but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
and it because I suppose we haven't got interest in it.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to do. Like I said, going back to our core values, whereas we try and be the best for everything. Like I think, why I feel if I wanted to put an event on, one, because I got no experience, two, because I got no background there, I don't feel it'd be the best it could be.
Yeah.
Which is why we've probably never done it.
What kind of events would you put on then?
It could be anything. Like the big thing for us, we've spoken in the last couple of meetings, is as much as we've got that community in the gym and whatever, it's like if can we do certain days where I don't know, it could be on a Sunday we do maybe a weightlifting competition, or events within the gym. But we just never done it for some reason. And again, maybe because we haven't got background there, but obviously Churchy with the program and the training and coaching, so that kind of takes them away from it. Joel is kind of infrastructure and stuff like that, and then Jack is with me in terms of day-to-day running. Yeah. So events is pretty hard for us.
Is it because you haven't needed to do events, maybe?
Maybe, but then that's not really an excuse. I don't feel if we see other gyms do it, and some gyms do it quite well. But yeah, that's one thing for us. Events we need to tap into, and online. I think YouTube podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, we got some wicked members.
Yeah.
Absolute wicked members who we wicked at podcasts, interviews, and
Yep.
again, it's time and it's hard. But again, that's not a real excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in a good place. The business is going well. The brand, again, is going strength to strength. But like Church said earlier, I think it's from the 4 or 5 years previous work. Yeah. It's now come to the front, if that makes sense.
Right. It's probably good for you guys to take a step back, recognise that, enjoy it, and then go on again. And just take your time doing it.
Yeah, we're probably in I won't say a bit of a lull, but we're kind of we're not going up and down. We're just enjoying it a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Ready to go again.
It's kind of important. Just get sick of it all. If you just worked and had negatives and negatives and challenges, you just get sick and pissed off quickly, wouldn't you?
We had time to start, but we from kind of day one, where we had kind of all the issues with electric and the landlord and moving facility. Well, that was a big thing, wasn't it? Moving from Bedworth to where we are now, and then obviously COVID hit. That was huge for us. Yeah. And then the refurb. And then we open and then we close again Christmas time. Then we added another floor in. So it's probably, and obviously with the January rush as well. And again, like what we do as well, we plan stuff maybe November, December ready for January. Yeah. So we've been focusing on that the last couple of months. So it's probably only now we're kind of not chilling out, but it's like we've got no plans for the next 3-4 weeks. So we're just kind of enjoying that, but obviously
just take advantage of that.
But obviously we've got the rugby match coming up now. Yeah, that'll probably be our main focus for the next 3-4 months. Yeah. But in terms of the gym, we've pretty much ticked everything off in terms of what we wanted to do, design and infrastructure wise, haven't we? Yeah, well, Gar, Joel, and Jack really took on that. In terms of what people see when they walk in and see how it's designed and the reception and all that. Those boys run with that. I love what it looks like. I love what it looks like, and it was kind of, I trust them to do that. The only thing there's certain things with the S&C area, there's certain things I knew I needed to be that way because of the way we program and coach and so on. Gar briefly mentioned then more about, say about events, but more about going on like our social media about what we're about, because we still need to hold on to that. Definitely. We did a video a couple of weeks ago of that's a touchy subject for us. Sorry, jumping in, but with what we're finding out is, I don't know if other gyms have caught me off. I don't know if we can say that. Yeah. But what we found is gyms have. I think if you go back a couple of years ago, I think there was 1 or 2 gyms in Caerphilly that kind of had everyone in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
And I think with us doing the refit, I think we've tipped that on our head, which is what we wanted to do. You know, we wanted to come in and kind of just disrupt it all. But what we're finding now is, again, I think they're copying us a little bit, which is fine. Like, that doesn't bother us at all. Like, we take it as a compliment. Yeah. But it's for them. Our members notice it. But for us, the members who are non-members with us think that we're the same type of gym.
Yeah.
I think for us trying to get our point across, which is the Who Bite Churchy's video a couple of weeks ago, which he had a bit of shit for, which is quite funny.
Is what, isn't it?
Yeah, good work, Church.
Yeah, if you, like I said, if you're an outsider, whether you're in them gyms or you're just looking for a gym, if you kind of look at us, you think we're kind of similar.
Yeah.
And that gets to us massively.
So how do you stand out then? How do you?
But I think,
sorry,
I think
I'm poking.
Yeah, I think with church doing things like the videos and stuff like that. But it's like the classes. You know, other gyms have put things like Metcon on and strength and conditioning, which is wicked. You know, like Church said in his video, like we won that
competition.
Yeah, we won
healthy.
competition. Yeah, of course. But it's like if you look at timetables in both S and C, some people just think it's the same.
Yeah.
And the class is the same, but the program and the coach.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Maybe. Sorry. Go on. No.
For me, all somebody's got to do is experience the difference.
Yeah.
So if they go to another gym,
of course,
they might enjoy it. They come to you guys, being coached by your standard of coaching. They go, wow,
that's what's
completely
happened.
different.
That's why retention rate is so high.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I mentioned a couple of members who were in gyms previously, but I think if you look at someone like, say, Ben Davis, Lee White, Lee Lowry, Emily Wickham, you know, they trained at other gyms previously, and our whole design of the gym, I can probably explain it to you, but the design of the gym was we knew where they trained, we knew what they would do in the classes, and we knew we wanted to attract them. Yeah. So we knew when they come in the gym, they were going to walk in, straight up on the treadmill, boot camp floor, upstairs. So that's where they feel comfortable. We knew that. But our goal was trying to get them downstairs into the S&C area. So like, well, how can we do that with the design of the gym, etc.? So that's why we've kind of left the design of the gym with the S&C area open, because we want everyone to see that area, because that's our bread and butter. That's what we want to get people into, because we know if people get into that class or that area, like you said, experience it, they won't leave.
You just don't.
If you look at our S&C group, whoever does S&C, they won't leave now to go to another gym for S&C. They won't. But that's our pathway in the gym. And the perfect example is just them 4 members I mentioned. Yeah, definitely. They've done exactly what our goal was to set out, and for us that's priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Literally
but it wasn't like off the back of that, like might have seen the video, it was more of a, like Gar said, we've considered in the past changing the name of the strength and conditioning class. Well, I have, because what I find disappointing within strength and conditioning, like as in when people coach general public as a whole, is that I think the industry needs to be better at educating and challenging coaches to still continue to want to be better. I think a big part of this comes off the back of, you know, CrossFit as a whole was huge for strength and conditioning, or people getting into that sort of training, right? CrossFit isn't what we do. But I'm saying a lot of people start seeing that type of training and want to do that type of training, and it was very easy to be able to get either across level 1 or do like a weekend course, whatever it was, and then coach as a strength and conditioning coach. And then everyone started calling their class strength and conditioning. And this isn't just about Caerphilly now. This is about everywhere.
UK-wide,
And then, you know, those who've coached for a long time or programmed and highly educated, no, it gets you frustrated because you want to challenge those coaches. And okay, well, if you're going to do that, great. I got no issue with someone picking up the phone to me. I don't care what gym they coach at or where they program. Could be the gym next door to us, and saying, look, I'm doing this program in. Could I give you a call? Could I catch up with you? No issue at all. Because I think that's part of the responsibility of someone who's a little bit older and done a fair bit. I say, okay, well, I think people should be wanting to improve and be better coaches and give a better service. And it got huge really quick. And then, like when we opened 2015, we're the only ones in the area doing S&C. And now everyone does it. I think that the education side of it and the coaching needs to be as best. And it, you know, some people took that personally and they took it as a rant about them when it wasn't. It was like, this is how we do it. And if it challenged them to become better and do theirs different, great.
Be it. Exactly.
We're
just
open,
lifting the standards across the whole gym.
Exactly. And like, we probably need to do more of that. And just look to say, okay, this is what we're about. This is how we do it and why. Because there's a reason why the people we got training with us in 2015 who came to bed with us are still with us now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And most of them are like, people who love the training, like the competitiveness of it, but like that, they know that their training's getting them longevity and health.
Yeah.
And it has for the last 6 years, and it will for hopefully wherever long we're going to go for.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we get people come in and they're super sore from the day before, or they can't train, or they're injured. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And hopefully the product of that is that, okay, well, this is how we do it, and this is why we do it.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of team sport athletes to do it, and we do a lot of our programming and around that because we know they're going to train Tuesday, Thursday, so our big days are always Monday, Wednesday, and so on. But but back to the video, if it improves people as an industry as a whole, then it was needed.
Yeah.
I think it just got to a point where people just took it a little bit personal, thought it was an attack, and it wasn't.
That's not us, is it? Like we don't care. Like we don't dig people out. Like you've got your own, whether it's a gym or whether you've got your own members, your own gym. Like that video was for our members, rather than them and their members. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, that was for our members who kind of maybe haven't stepped into the essence era yet.
Yeah.
For them to watch and say, look, it's not as intimidating as you think.
Yeah.
But like, we got our own shit to worry about. Like, do you know what I mean? We got our own members look after. We got our own gym to look after. I'm not trying to pick fight with everyone.
No.
Not at all. Like, Philly's big enough for hundreds of gyms. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
But, if other gyms are losing members to us and they feel threatened, rather than that's their issue.
Yeah, of course.
You need to look at yourself before you look at us or start ragging us out for stuff.
Yeah.
If you're losing members, that's not our fault. Like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that's Philly feel though.
Yeah.
One thing I take it from that is if other gyms are copying you, it goes to show you're the front runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were setting the stall out here. And it must be working.
Yeah, we take that as a massive compliment. But again, we only notice it because it's kind of brought to our attention. We don't keep an eye on other gyms in Philly. It's like I said, they got their own market.
Yeah.
They got their own marketing strategy. They crack on, do. Like, we don't got time to worry about them.
You do you.
Exactly.
They can do them.
Exactly.
Crack on, boys, innit?
100%.
Just want to touch a little bit on a bit of a subject we're quite keen about is mental health.
Yeah.
Just wondering, do you think there's any kind of correlation between bad mental health, not training, improving your mental health by training?
100%.
Yeah,
it's
got to be. Yeah,
it's got to be.
I think. Well, us sitting here is a product of that.
Yeah,
isn't it? I think that when we talk about, and I train. So when I've trained for a long time and done some competing in and around, multi-sport, but also a bit of powerlifting, weightlifting, CrossFit, and so on. So when I was younger, it was all about physically. I want to be as good as I could be.
Yeah, of course.
Now, when your life changes, you have a lot more stresses. I train because I feel I need to get that done.
Yeah.
And it makes, for me, the constants in my life are family life and training.
Mm-hmm.
And the other things I have, real control over, and I can, how much time I want to spend with my family, and I do that as much as I can and train. And I don't, if it's 20 minutes a day, it's 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You'll do something though, will you?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
And if there's, when I get down days, then I get my big sessions in.
Yeah.
100%. We know like the release of endorphins and so like we know that by getting something or succeeding in something, doesn't matter how small that is, we know it's going to improve our sense of well-being and health, mentally and physically.
Definitely.
And I think we've had it in the gym, and obviously I'm not going to go into names. There was a lad who was actually trained. He used to work in the call centre next to us, and we're talking 2 or 3 years ago now. When he come in, and he trained hard, real good trainer. And he asked then, look, would you help me doing some one-to-one stuff? So like, I don't do any one-to-one stuff, but if we went to program, we'll catch up. And we were talking every day and so on. He got through a couple of blocks, did a powerlifting comp and really well. And he texts me and he's like, look, mate, thanks very much for that. Just to let you know, I've really been struggling.
Wow.
And I hadn't, and we know what it is, I had never had that before.
No.
But to say, look, thanks for getting me back into my routine. I love coming to the gym. I love training.
That.
He could have trained anywhere. He was travelling from miles away to just to work where he was, and he used the gym because it was next door. And that probably made me realise, well, actually, we are not here, or me as a coach, I'm not here to just improve people physically. You've got to have relationships. And I try to, as much as I can, within, obviously, the environment I work in as well. I probably learned more from that in the last 2 or 3 years when shit hit the fan and you're up against the wall a little bit. Obviously, it's better now. We're going really well in work. So, but previously, you've got 70 blokes in the environment where some boys are sky highs come off the back of a win and know they're playing the next week.
Yeah.
Some bloke isn't playing.
Yeah.
and doesn't know when he's getting his next game.
Yeah.
And he's a pro rugby player. That's what he does for a living. He doesn't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So you got so many different characters, personalities, people peaking and troughing through the week. You have to learn how to deal with people, especially when you're head of the department and you're front of the house all the time.
Yeah.
How you deal with those relationships.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier about being a bull in a china shop. I was probably mentored as best I could be by Ryan and S&C coach called Hugh Bevan, who was head of performance at the Drags. They knew I was a little bit like that when I was a bit younger. So temperament was like that, and all I worried about was my program.
Yeah.
They mentored me very well in terms of not let me do what I could do, but also when I need to be reined in, and think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And when now my role has changed, I think about, okay, well, how many stresses do we have in our lives as a whole,
Yeah.
but also in our environment? Majority of our players have got kids at home. They got to travel. They got to do their rugby units. They got to do their analysis. They got to do all that, and everything adds stress. So I know that some of those boys, all they want to do is come and train in the gym with us because they want to get away from all that.
Yeah.
So we're not just training physically now, we're training mentally. And I'm preparing them to go into Barton and play every Saturday or whatever we're going to play. But a huge part of that is getting them right mentally more than anything, because these guys have trained for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
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 Big part of what we do is going mentally.
That's amazing, though.
And
It's really interesting.
so there's a couple of like little backgrounds. I think it's huge. It's made me realise over the last few years how much that drives what we do.
Yeah.
And now for me, I've never really focused on as much as I should have, probably, because I was always like, that's what I want to be.
Train.
Either thing, I want to be a head S&C by the time I'm 30, which means nothing really.
Yeah.
Like, why did I want that?
Yeah, it's a bit arbitrary, but at the same time, is what
when
you wanted. Yeah.
When I got to it, you realise how much that actually involved.
Yeah.
And made me probably mature a hell of a lot, which I need to, and mellow out, which I think I probably have. But then realise how much an effect you can have on people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think that's what PA does. Gives people that release, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably see people come into your gym after a shitty day in work in a foul mood and then leave with a smile on their face.
Yeah, it's hard for us. Like I'll speak from my point of view, and I do find it difficult sometimes, because the issue, like what I find is say we get 300-400 people through a door a day, like you said, they could be on a shit day, and then they don't want to see us in a shit mood.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I struggle with that a little bit.
I bet you
Massively.
can't be. You stood behind that counter
100%.
8 hours a day with a smile on your face.
Exactly. So like,
It's tough, isn't it?
yeah, and like we split shifts or whatever. So I'm, whether it be me or Jack, it's normally 8.5 hour shifts each. So we probably get between 150 to 200 people through the door in them 8 hours.
Yeah.
And we've got to be happy as lies for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Even if we're in a shit mood.
Yeah.
You know, something could happen to us the night
Definitely,
before,
yeah.
the day before, we could go through stuff.
Yeah.
But we've kind of got to be, whether they want a 20-minute conversation with you, whether it's just to say hello,
Yeah.
we've got to be happy and smiley.
Of course you are.
And I struggle with that.
Yeah.
I'll be open, and that's difficult. Like some members you get away with.
Yeah.
Some people you think, oh, do you know what, he's not going to care if I don't speak to him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can be up with, like I say, I'm having a bad day or whatever.
Yeah. Leave me be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? But his members, whether they come in for the first time, and I suppose the same with the staff and culture. I suppose the other staff get it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might be more difficult for them if they run a class, because that class has got to be, you got 15, 6 people in there. If they're in a shit mood, it affects the class.
Of course
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
High
It's
energy.
really
They got to bring it up
Massively, massively. But I think I've learned a little bit off Sankey with that. Like I've never seen Sankey in a bad mood.
No.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
He's always high, always high.
I think that's, like you said, though, is personality types as well. So like
Yeah.
you never some people, like I'm a bit like I can sit around looking miserable
Yeah.
half the time, and then other people, like you said, Sankey exactly, are just
Yeah.
bouncing off the walls all the time. So I don't know how you manage that on front of house and through the gym.
Yeah.
But
That's why I probably couldn't be front of house. I think people
Yeah.
have the perception of me as people, unless they know me well,
yeah,
they have the perception I was churchy, a little bit brash, and that's so.
yeah,
But then when you meet me, or like this bloke next, like with Guy, I do anything for him.
yeah,
Like it goes back to you said about values earlier, it's
yeah,
trust,
yeah,
Definitely.
and you've got to. I'm not saying people don't hear my trust. No, I'm saying, but me in the gym, that's my thing away from everything else.
yeah. That's your quiet time. And your
Yeah, I
peace,
go
yeah.
to the gym and I go to PA, and that's why I love going there. Say on a day off, go there, have a coffee, I get some work done, and that's my kind of release, really.
Escape, yeah.
And I do need that as well.
Yeah.
So I need that.
Definitely.
I think we all need it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
That's where I think coming in with us, you've got, like you say, you've got to have a certain personality to be that front of house, and it obviously is difficult. I know I'd find that really hard. Guy mentions there, I find it hard in terms of people coming in, you've always got to be that front of house guy.
Yeah.
And that's where Jack is very, very, very good at that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're in a situation or an environment now where we know that if we needed it or needed help, we got it straight away.
Yeah.
Just from the four of us. And obviously it's blokes in it. We'll always have it, but we know when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
we're all there.
Unsaid rule
we got your
that,
back.
you know,
Yeah.
you all got each other's back one way or another.
I honestly think that I think you've built that kind of community where if somebody comes in and you are having a shit day, you could be honest with them. And say,
100%. Yeah. Even if we're like with the other staff,
Yeah.
you know, we could. I think it's weird. Like it's so hard to explain the atmosphere in that gym. Like unless you go to experience it yourself,
Yeah.
you can't describe it like in a good way. Like I've never been in an environment where there's no like cliques, no bitchiness.
No.
There's no ag. It's so weird. Like it really is, and maybe it is because how we built it or whatever. But whether it's the staff, I can't really put my finger on it. But I've never been in an environment where it's just so kind of chilled in a way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's mad. Like it is mad.
I do think you need to put something in place though, where if you are having a shit day,
Yeah, of course.
you can just put your hand up and go, "Yeah, I'm having a shit day today."
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand it 8.5 hours a day with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
A grumpy bastard.
It's
innit?
not even
But-
that as well. Like again, where's my escape years ago? Kind of from that was training. I'd have them 2 hours myself. Because I'm training in my own gym, my own business. It's not an escape.
Yeah, it's
So
all
the thing
around
I
you,
found
yeah.
massive for me is probably football on Saturday.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That's that from with the boys. Forget about everything.
Yeah.
Chilled our time. Like
Yeah.
that's probably helped me massively. But like if I'm doing 8.5 hour shift, I'll speak to 150, 200 people. And I try and train for 2 hours. And it's like in my head, it's like if I put my headphones in, do I come across as rude?
Yeah.
Because people are trying to
that's
speak to
true.
me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because maybe they don't, like, obviously it's different. Like, if you know me, you think, oh, he put his headphones in, he's training.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if I've got my headphones in and something's wrong and I don't want to see the staff member on the desk and they want to approach me, do I look rude then because I got my headphones in? Do you know what I mean? It's how people perceive you, and
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking then like little things.
You're still entitled to your downtime though.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course, I
Yeah.
agree, but you know, maybe that's where I kind of need to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I do find it difficult. It is hard.
I bet it is. I bet.
I think so like I probably more around it because of the environment I'm in day to day. We are extremely lucky at the Ospreys that we've got Lloyd Ashley, who obviously I was living well, Lloyd Ash, and he's such a good understanding. He's been pro rugby player for 10 years, real good understanding of the players, and not afraid to speak up about how he's feeling.
Yeah.
But off the back of that, we've got Professor Steve Melio, who, if you read anything around sports psychology, but also health, well-being, and around professional athletes, Steve has co-authored hundreds and hundreds of papers, and he's our sports psychologist with us, and a real good gauge of temperature within the group.
Yeah.
And they're probably having those in the environment. I think we're lucky because I don't think it's like that everywhere.
Yeah.
We talk about the stigma around it.
Yeah.
It certainly is, especially what we do. And we talk about a gym environment or a rugby and whatever it is.
both
There's a
quite-
huge stigma around
Yeah,
it. We're trying
100%.
to break down those barriers every day, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, what you guys are doing is at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
And no, we're lucky that we've got that, and obviously we've gone through a fair bit of turmoil over the last couple of years. Really, you talk about a merger, and I've become a head of S&C. You go into a merger, you might lose your job.
Yeah.
Just moved to a new house. Then you talk about, you know, huge thing for us is obviously Ivan in the last couple of months. You know, there's a bike accident and loses his leg.
That's
It's
right,
someone
yeah.
who coached for the last few years, and you're thinking about now being in his position. How do you relate to that? How do you? I didn't know what to say to him at first,
Yeah.
and
I bet.
it's a real struggle then to think, okay, well, how do you approach this? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
You can't avoid him.
No,
You've got to have a chat
no, you
with
want to see how he is and so on. But he's having everyone doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, how do you, as like a head apartment or someone we're seen as people, drivers within the community as well? Okay, well, how do you be seen as someone who's trying to drive one and understand what's going on,
Yeah.
but for everyone to understand, okay, well, we need to talk. How do we approach this? And
Yeah.
it's difficult. It's really, real difficult. I find it difficult.
That you're considering it and thinking about it is almost enough though. So you like if you can consider it, then you know you boys are sensible enough, as anybody is, that we sort of bother with, to actually speak out about those things if they need to be spoken about.
Yeah.
Like you know, although we're in the gym and rugby environment and big and burly and whatever else, to be able to go, actually, I think I might need to speak about this. And even if you just speak to one person, speak to Garen or whatever, then that's enough to like just open the gates to start other conversations and let other people have their conversations and whatever else. So yeah, it's perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think where you're saying if you're having a bad day, if you spoke about it, will that encourage other people to start speaking about it in the gym?
Yeah, I agree. You know, this again, it's kind of, in a way, it's good for us because we'll have the environment we've created. They'll always be kind of one of the boys in the gym at any one time. You know, whether that's Clev coming in for coffee, Big Mac, who's like a piece of furniture at the moment. He's there for 5 hours a day. And in a way, it's kind of like I said about them core members before. Like if Clev or Mac is in reception and I'm on a bit of a stinker of a day or I'm in a bad mood because of something's happened, I think they'll kind of realise that. And if a member walks in, they'll be the kind of bubbly one.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so they'll kind of know I'm in a bad mood and they'll kind of control that member in terms of speaking to them, saying how was the day.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's helped massively. And it's not just Mac and Claire, there's a couple of other boys and a couple of members who are kind of good like that.
Yeah.
You know, Jack's pretty good at stuff like that. If me and Jack are together, you know, I'm in a bad mood or vice versa, one of us then will kind of take control.
Yeah.
So that helps massively. But like there's days where I'll go home and I've just spoke to people so much, like I'll just sit in the house in silence, like.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's your quiet time.
I'm happy with
Yeah.
that. And my mum will try to speak to me then because I still live at home. She's like, "Oh, how's your day, love?" This, that, and Mum, we don't know if I can speak to her.
Should leave me be.
When she thinks I'm in a bad mood, it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not in a bad mood. I just want fucking peace and quiet.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, it is. I think it's coming more to the front now. I think we've seen since after the pandemic how much training is helping people.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
And we get feedback from coaches as well, who take the classes saying, you know, they're getting good feedback off the members saying how much it's helped them and stuff like that. And again, I think we do need to tap into it more as a gym, or even as a business rather than gym. Yeah. And if we can help, then, you know, our door's always open, isn't it? Yeah. We've always said that.
I think we have a responsibility to do it as well.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, like I said, like people see us as owners of the gym and so on, and what we do, and we run different aspects of the gym. We have so much communication with people, and we see so many people that we could, I said earlier, like we looking to change people's lives or improve people's lives for the better, and that could be physically, mentally. That we, you know, doing this now is probably showing people that we're in a position where we can really try and make change and say, look, this is what we do, this is how we address our struggles.
Yeah.
Because we all have them, and Gar mentioned how he does us. And for example, like, so Christmas time, sorry, another story, but Christmas time, I didn't know what to get my dad for Christmas.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad always writing a diary.
Yeah.
Always did.
Yeah.
And so I bought him a really nice diary for Christmas. It's the only thing I could think of, and really nice. And then I was like, okay, well, it's going to get to a point where I want to read his diaries in years to come.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, what am I leaving for Reese then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I started this year. I don't think, you know, why would I ever do a diary? No, I think I'd start a diary. I started just doing, the Daily Stoic.
Yeah.
So I bought the Daily Stoic, and they just ask you a question every day.
Yeah.
And even Ellie was surprised, like, you're going to write in that every day? I'm like, yeah, and it makes me feel so much better. Like, people are not going to think I do that.
Yeah.
But every day they ask you a question. It could be like, obviously some of them are quite deep, but I like putting it on paper because not everyone can talk.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the environment, it is obviously it's tough, like knowing who to talk to.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's worked really well for me. That's just to have, you know, a little bit more clarity on what direction I want to go in.
Yeah.
What's important to me.
Yeah.
What I deem as success, what I deem as things I can control, and we know that's the only thing is our thoughts, really.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing we can control is our thoughts, and like I said about family life.
Yeah.
Everything else is out of our control. And it's only like literally the last 3 weeks I've been doing that. But straight away I think you have a different perception in terms of when I go into work with things that are out of my control, or in the gym, out of my control. Okay, well, what can we control to maybe make that situation better? If we can't, we just deal with what's coming.
Yeah.
And I've only done the last few weeks, but I think it's important for us to speak about or put something in place that we have that outlet, that people know we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think
people know there's an opportunity to do it within the gym as well.
Like you just said, just like little things like this. I like we appreciate you being on your loads, but just shout about it through your social media and whatever. Just tell people you're as much of a mental facility for fitness as well as a physical one, because you are. Like, whether you realise it or not, you're definitely doing it day in, day out.
I struggled years ago, I did.
Yeah.
When I was about, I think I was 16, 17, I got bit by a dog on my face. And I remember I think I came out of my bedroom for about 6-7 months. Like.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah,
No,
so
I didn't know
I was 17 and got bit with my dog. It was my lip of my cheek, about 40 odd stitches.
Yeah.
But never like suicidal thoughts, nothing like that.
No.
I was just down in the dumps, depressed. It was before I come on board.
Just felt shit.
Yeah, just felt shit, like, didn't
Yeah.
know what to do. Didn't kind of really have a career at that point. And yeah, it was just moody bastard, like.
Yeah.
And obviously that was through trauma, etc. You know, people have different issues with how it starts for them.
Yeah.
But I think another turning point for me was when I went to Bali.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you've
Yeah.
been, and
Yeah.
like they got absolutely fuck all out there.
Yeah.
They're the happiest people in the world.
Yeah.
And
Bonkers, isn't it?
honestly,
It just resets your perspective.
yeah, massively.
Yeah.
That changed my life completely. That was probably, in terms of like my mindset, that was probably the biggest turning point for me, was going to Bali.
Yeah.
Coming back and realizing what I had compared to all them.
Yeah.
I was like, I should never be in a bad mood
Yeah.
for what I've got.
Yeah.
And every day I come a blessing, like whether it's food on table, running tap. Like, we are so blessed, we don't realise.
Yeah, 100%. Love that.
I think Churchy's a big influence on me as well. How he's working with the last 5-6 years, like his mentality is unbelievable. Like again, going through all the shit with electric, the solicitors, all that kind of stuff. Like I was probably, what was I, 23, 24ish. So I really hadn't experienced anything like from that point. So just having kind of him on my shoulder and my dad as well. That was massive. That was so. Yeah, I probably learned a lot off Church the last couple of years.
Awesome.
Just through his mentality.
Nice.
That's right.
Crying in church.
Oh yeah, I got the white
God,
eyes.
I have got softer since Reece come along.
Yes.
I've picked it up quite a lot between you two. I love your relationship.
Yeah.
It's more like brothers and business partners, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And
Yeah.
Very
I
close.
just get the fact that you've both got each other's backs and you've both been through shit together. So yeah, just keep doing that, boys. I'm loving that.
It's awesome.
I think Joel and Jack are the same with me.
Yeah.
How the four of us get on. I suppose it was the same with Ryan as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't think we ever argued, did we?
No.
We never had massive falling outs, nothing at all. Like.
Yeah.
I think we know when we do have debate, and I said, look, you have debate and challenging conversations.
You're going to
like,
disagree.
yeah, well, I think we have
Definitely.
to, and like
It's
you know,
important. Yeah.
Joel and I, for example, we'll have debates often, but I think they for me, they're performance conversations you
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah. 100%.
In terms of what we do,
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
it's to make ultimately what we do the best it can be. But go back to Guy and I, it's like he has ultimate trust in what I'm going to do, and I have trust in him,
Yeah.
and we don't really need to speak about it.
Yeah.
Just run with it.
Yeah, because we know it's going to be covered off.
Yeah.
You've got your specialities, you've got the bits that
Yeah.
you deal with, and
Yeah.
you trust each other with those bits. But anything that's sort of grey in between those things, then debate creates the best outcome, then, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. But Joel's, it sounds silly saying he's fitted in well, but Joel's kind of come into that environment as well, hasn't he? Like Joel's been good as gold for us as well, same as Jack. When Jack came on board, kind of beginning of last year. Like I said, it's all for the benefit of the gym. And
Yeah, well, Joel was training at the gym anyway,
Yeah.
and Jack had been working for us for
yeah, Jack's like working for us. That's
3-4 years prior to that.
Yeah.
So Jack knows the business incredibly well and knows the members,
Yeah.
and as a part building a brand and talking about looking after your people. Jack had put a hell of a lot of work in. He came on an apprenticeship really.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Put a hell of a lot of work into building that brand as well, and we wanted him as part of the business because he is someone we know that'll drive what we're about.
Yeah, of course.
And Joel's done that. Like Joel's got different thought in terms of he's a bit like a bull in a china shop. Where, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's like, whoa, no, let's chill.
Yeah.
Let's think about like where this is gonna get to. Where do you want to be in 2 years? We talk about that.
Yeah.
But all the refurb in terms of the mezzanine floor and that, Joel pretty much did that single handedly.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
And that's where people are like,
Incredible,
wow,
man.
well, no, that was Joel's thing.
Yeah,
That's what he did, and he spent pretty much all the lockdown doing that.
Yeah.
And would work all hours of the day in there with, and obviously it's what he does for a living. Like
Yeah.
he's best at it.
Yeah.
But to get at what it is, like I said earlier, Jack, Joel, and Gar are the ones who drove that massively, and I went down with a couple of days in a paintbrush, but
Worst paint.
that was all
Pick him out. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he's awful.
On purpose, church.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to do something again, don't do it.
Do a shit job. Yeah.
Still can all be
Darren's
painted.
words to me, mate, you look after the programming and the coaching,
Exactly.
you look after everything else.
Still going over his painting now.
That's awesome.
Just wanted to touch on the rugby game. So for people who don't
Kind of
know,
mentioned it.
PA have challenged Tackle Your Thoughts
I won't go that far.
to a rugby game. So we've got 2 rugby games coming up. Under 35s against under 35s, and then an over 35s game as well. So where did the idea come from? Who had the idea?
It was me. I don't even think I mentioned to you before I asked you about it.
That's a trust.
This is what we're fucking doing.
So just bring your bootsies.
I didn't
In
even
the second row.
yeah.
Not happening. Not happening.
I didn't even put it in the group. I remember I didn't even put it in the group. I just messaged you directly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was. I think I messaged you on the Monday. Sunday or Monday. Like I said, we've been not poor of events because we've never done events, but we've never tapped into that market. But it was again. We kind of had the Arbor Valley thing. We had the football thing back last year.
Didn't we beat them, Die?
I didn't play in that game. But it kind of stemmed from that. But obviously, you boys are kind of rugby orientated.
Yeah.
And we haven't got many footballers in the gym, but even the gym is kind of more rugby orientated with the boys there.
Yeah.
And he just popped the med, literally just popped the med. And to be honest, I didn't think he was going to get as big as it has gone. And it's only been what, a week
Or two. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, like the people we brought on board, the sponsors, it just seems like Philly's buzzing for it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's again just literally pop the med, and how I think we can grow it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I don't think this is going to be a one-time thing. I think it'll be an annual thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think we've, in terms of driving it, I think we've all kind of got the same mentality.
Yeah.
Which is wicked. But yeah, it seems to have brought kind of Philly together in a way, which is exactly what we want, and it's kind of one of our goals in the gym as well. Is, you know, everyone's there for a different reason.
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting their own battles, no matter what you're there for. But if you can help someone along the way, then that's what ultimately it should be about.
Yeah.
What I've noticed, like you said, we've been working together for about a week now, but your values is exactly the same as our values,
Yeah.
so we work well together. And for you to approach us to run this kind of event is massive for
Yeah,
us.
it's awesome. Yeah,
It's huge.
appreciate it loads.
The amount of people it'll impact on.
Yeah.
Well, 4 teams, we probably have 88 players.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
players are half of it, you know.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're going to make an event of it. It's not just going to be a one-off. It's not going to be a game and then everybody goes home. We'll probably have some food and beers and stuff after it.
Yeah.
We'll make a day of it. It'll be a proper good event.
But
so.
again, even if like one person comes up to us and said, "Look, boys, this has helped me today."
Yes.
That's
We
all.
won.
That's
Exactly what we want.
That's what it's
You know
about,
what I mean?
isn't it? Just
Or whether it encourages people to get in the gym more, whether you guys network from it in terms of whoever we meet on that day, introduces some members. Do you know what I mean? It's
massive.
all about helping each other. And
Exactly,
I think, I'm not pinpointing Caerphilly again, but I think Caerphilly, the mindset of some people in Caerphilly, not anyone in particular, but I just think the Caerphilly mindset is so bad.
it's limited, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's, you know,
massively.
lots of people born in Caerphilly, grow up in Caerphilly, and die in
Massively.
Caerphilly, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's all they ever see. So just
I'm from a family who's kind of like that.
yeah.
I think I got mine from my dad, who's kind of a little bit of an outsider. But the Caerphilly mentality just kills people, like,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
does, like, and it's so bad. And I think I've noticed it more, I'd say, the last 2-3 months. And like, it's whether you tell someone you've been to Bali and they just look at you in shock.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
but it's a 10-hour
It's
flight.
a plane. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like everyone can have access to it.
Yeah.
Fly there twice a day.
But yeah, and I think we've got to kind of break that stigma in Caerphilly, because Caerphilly's a wicked place. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like the people in there, the businesses. It's a very, very decent place to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think mental health is a massive issue in Caerphilly.
Yeah, I think
Massive.
the things that you guys are doing, you know, I'd hope some of the things that we're doing are making Caerphilly a better place.
That's
you know,
exactly what I
out.
want. Yeah.
That's the idea of it, just bringing everything up.
I think just to buy in from local businesses already.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
amount
it's
of
been
people
big.
you've had come forward and want to sponsor the day,
Yeah.
it's massive. So
Yeah. It's
I think-
talk of the gym.
I think that
Yeah.
what that shows is people, you know, by you guys doing this over the last few years, is that what it shows is that people are so willing to get involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
But what we really need is what you guys are doing, because without that, we aren't
Yeah.
anywhere near this.
Yeah,
And it's because of the communities you're in. And let's be honest, different areas like Caerphilly as well.
Yeah.
Not from the same area,
Yeah,
Caerphilly.
very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight away, the network gets bigger straight away.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
I think the businesses, what they've seen is like, well, no, because everyone thinks straight away, yeah, I do, I struggle. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Somebody's
they
Yeah,
want
you
struggling
to
wanna
help
help,
straight
yeah.
away, but they
Yeah.
needed that that platform to
be able
to get involved.
Yeah.
And without that, we're nowhere near it.
No.
It could be like a player, for example, who's going to play the game, who's now got something to look forward to in 5 months' time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It could
exactly.
be that where the guys are back in the training, in the gym, where the guys are back running on the streets, they got to get fit for the game, wherever it is. Especially, I think, the over 35 idea as well.
Yeah.
Because I think obviously the younger boys do play rugby, so they're in that squad environment, I suppose. So they get to have banter and speak about stuff. Whereas, when you kind of pass 35, you don't really, whether you go into coaching. I've seen a lot of boys who kind of over that age, who have been involved in teams throughout their life, and then it's kind of what's life after rugby.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually.
Because
Because
what do you do?
so
We
many
see
people.
that in PA.
Yeah.
We got that first strength and conditioning class at 6 o'clock, but we got the CNS crew, which is the conditioning strength guys who want to train at 5:30.
Yeah.
And if you look at that group, the majority of them are from a team sport background who finished playing, who've played team sport all their lives, and they like the class because of the competitive nature of it. Yeah. But they also like going there every morning, having a shower, and then having breakfast together in the reception, which they do, and they keep their Weetabix behind the counter. But that's great.
It's community, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You're building community.
How good is that? That people know that's a constant. It goes back to what we said earlier. It's like, well, someone doesn't turn up that day. Straight away, they got their WhatsApp group and stuff like that. They have the programming office the night before, which Steph sent them. Like,
you're enablers for that.
Brilliant.
Your gym and whatever else is enablers for that.
Well, after I retired from rugby, I didn't really miss the rugby. I missed the changing rooms.
Everybody does. Everybody misses the social.
The
social, yeah.
So for us to hold an over 35s game, for people who haven't played for donkey's years, with maybe some modified rules, would be massive.
Well, how many people playing that over 35s game haven't seen some of the people they played with
years and years.
potentially up to 10 years?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to see people down there watching the game, or they're going to have a pint together and catch up and have a chat. It's like, how good is that?
Yeah.
But it's like what can La lead into then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just, even if we can be the spark or something, whether it's two people getting together, whether it's a bunch of boys getting together, and then they go on from there and do stuff together, then we've kind of done our job in a way.
Definitely.
Yeah. Awesome.
So the date is out, 5th of June.
Yes, correct.
5th of June at Caerphilly Rugby Club. So there's some big plans in the pipeline. We'll drip feed the plans out slowly, boys. But apparently, Church, you started training already, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm flat out for a few weeks at a time, about 6 times.
He's bought his boots already.
I did want to play this year actually, but just life takes over, doesn't it? I text you.
Did you?
I text you and you wrote back, so we're training at Gwyndy.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear off you again.
Yeah, that was me. I got into hockey now. I got all the gear. COVID has messed that up, but I wanted to try something new. You try something new, and it was like big into my NHL stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of clubs near me, but obviously the closest one for me to work is the Swansea Cobras, and like they do like for anyone who just wants to come and train, you can come and play like
nice.
roller hockey. No, nice. I'm not getting into that yet. But, I got all the gear.
Awesome.
Mrs. thinks it's a midlife crisis. 30.
Buy a motorbike now.
When I get that $6,000 back.
Poke again.
Are you playing, Gar?
No, I'm not playing.
Why?
Nah.
Just gonna have an organised.
I've never played rugby in my life. Not even in school.
I think it's going to be oversubscribed. There's so many people that message me, so many people interested.
Well, our teams are full, dying, eh?
Are they full?
So, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, with all those ringers you got coming in.
Die's done
paying
great on
lads.
us, to be fair.
You challenged us, didn't
Yeah,
you?
he stole some players off us. Like. Die had a squad before he even text you about it.
You've been waiting for this for years.
It's definitely a grey area because there's lots of people who are involved in the Tackle Your Thoughts team that train at PA.
I know.
They've had their membership bumped up. Double price.
I told Daniel the other day, he said to me, membership price is going up. He looked at me stupid.
He probably believed you as well.
Yeah, he probably would.
Class.
No, but yeah, from us boys, thanks for that. It's going to be a
That's
massive day for us.
wicked,
And
yeah.
if you can make an annual thing
Yeah,
where,
it's the start of doing some more together, hopefully.
Yeah, it's
well.
absolutely.
where we just
Definitely.
win the trophy every year, then we'll win out. Just going to bounce on some questions we've been sent. Quite random. So we put out on Instagram earlier to see if anybody wants to ask us any questions. Come back with a couple. I've narrowed down to 2 because some of them I couldn't ask you online. So the first one, if you didn't have the gym and you wasn't in a sporting background, what would you do as a job? So Church, you can't say.
What would you like to do, or what would you just?
Yeah, what do you think you would
be
end up doing?
Yeah.
You can't say rugby.
Yeah, I think
Hockey.
Potentially through things I would have gone down, probably teaching or something like that. Both my parents were teachers. So either teaching or something.
Funny story, Churchy's mother actually taught me.
Did
Yeah,
she?
so we can't
And
spell.
I still call her Miss to this day. She comes in the gym.
That's polite, mate.
Oh, I know.
Whenever I see ex-teacher, it's always sir, innit?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do.
it is, isn't
Yeah, yeah.
So either teaching or be something like potentially armed forces or police or something like that. I think it would have been something fairly active.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I think I would have been in the police. If
Yeah.
I were in the
Yeah.
police, I think I would be an accountant. I was decent with numbers.
That's random.
Yeah, I was good with numbers. I
Yeah.
was good with
Hasn't
numbers.
done our
Cool.
books for 6 years.
You don't know where that $6,000 went, but
yeah. Could be shit not.
That's awesome.
Next question. What's your favourite type of workout and why? Who's going to go first?
go on. Mate.
I've dabbled in everything really in terms of
Yeah,
training
you
wise, and
Doing a bodybuilding show once, really.
yeah, they
what?
said being
I
too
missed
good a
that.
neck. So
Spoiler for everybody else.
Garrison, my hips are too wide, so I never get in there, so I give up. I do like I prefer conditioning stuff over strength stuff now, as I'm getting a little bit old, because I chucked some of the strength stuff into the con. But yeah, I've done like an Ironman, done some triathlons and stuff. So anything for me that I feel like is a challenge, really. I don't care what it comes from. If someone said to me, "You need to go and run a marathon now," I give it a good crack if I could.
Yeah.
Anything that I think, okay, that's a challenge. Like, so obviously I've got a bit of a background in the CrossFit stuff and triathlons and one Ironman and a half. But yeah, something along those lines. I do love chucking a barbell around. I love cleans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And deadlifting but anything that there was a bit of a challenge behind it, and someone, I do like when people challenge. We had a thing in the gym where we had someone. We had someone working for us in the gym, and he's a bit of a powerlifter, and he said he had a bar.
I'm going
set
to go
up.
there, yeah. You're actually going to say this.
No, I'm just going to say about the story. I'm not going to say the names.
No, there's more, yeah. We want no details.
I'd come in from work, or I'd come in just like leisure stuff like this, and he had like,
I think he was in jeans.
I might have been in jeans, and he had his PB on the bar, and he walked over to us in reception and said, "You don't deadlift that." I thought he was joking.
But he's doing in front of a group of boys as well.
Yeah, he's in front of the boys.
5 or 6.
Standing in front of the boys. He's like,
Like,
Call
fuck
you
it,
out, like,
I'm having this.
hey, you go after the king or take up his head, haven't you? So, I was like, what? And he's like, "You won't deadlift that." I was like, all right.
Okay, watch
Walk
this.
straight up.
Walked up to his bar, cold, in jeans, and deadlifted
You did,
it.
yeah.
And I slammed the bar and said, "Put the fucking plates away." I felt bad after, because it was bad. So I do love chucking some.
It was a staff member, it wasn't a member.
No, I
It was
wasn't. I
a
was a
staff
staff
member.
member. I put the plates away myself as a member. Still deadlifting, I put the plates away. So no, anything I've gone full circle, everything.
Yeah.
Like all training. Sometimes I do some chest and arms with this guy.
Chest
as
and
well.
arms.
Mine's just a typical bodybuilding split.
Is it?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I like now is how I've helped people. Like Big Mac was a massive thing for me when he came to me a couple of years ago. He was struggling, so I don't really take training serious anymore. I still train 5 days a week, and he'll bug me if I don't train. But I'm kind of there more now to kind of help people.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's what I got to do. I'm in that position where I kind of feel like I got to give back a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's typical Monday to Friday split. Saturday will be football. Sunday will be absolutely day on a sofa doing fuck all.
Walking the dog.
Downtime.
If yeah. But yeah, chill day. So yeah, it's Monday to Friday training.
Class.
Love it. Any other questions for him?
I think so.
Random ones for the
Off
boys?
the top of my head. I know, I'm under pressure. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, for us boys, we love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Like we said, your values are top notch, and they
Yeah.
align really well with
Yeah.
ours. So
I'm really glad you come on as well, and just to shout about what you do, because like it's opened my eyes to some things, and
Yeah,
I've been there for years, God knows how long, trained there, and I didn't know half of it, so it'll open it up to loads of other people, and hopefully more good stuff for you guys as well.
definitely. So I'm guessing you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
We don't do Twitter, do we?
No?
No,
we don't do Twitter.
mostly Instagram. And
Yeah,
Facebook.
Instagram's
Yeah.
the biggest thing for us on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Is it PA Fitness on there?
Yeah, PA Fitness, Instagram
Yeah.
and Facebook, yeah.
We'll stick the links down below anyway, so hit them up. If you're not from the area, have a look at the gym. It's the best gym I've ever been to. It's
Thank you very
amazing
much, lads.
inside,
Yeah, it's
so-
class facility.
Yeah, thanks for having us
done-
on as well.
No,
It's been wicked,
been
actually.
great.
thanks,
you,
boys.
boys.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Thanks, boys.
Cheers,
Cheers,
lads.
boys.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.